Welcome back to CryptosRus. I'm George. We're all George. Welcome to another market open stream. Unfortunately, there's even more trouble ahead. So what does this mean for Bitcoin? Well, let's find out. Let's find out. Welcome, guys. Today, there's only one piece of good news, and it has nothing to do with crypto. And the market bell is about to ring, and that's Nvidia. Nvidia just had explosive growth, explosive forecasts, and they're driving Nasdaq up single-handedly today. So that's about the only good thing that's happening, despite all the trouble. So they're huge into AI, and they are nearing 1 trillion market cap. Wow. So outside of like Apple and Microsoft, and before you had like Tesla in there, now you have Nvidia that's about to cross the 1 trillion market cap. Yeah, 1 trillion market cap. That's just crazy, right? And why is this? Because AI, right? We know AI is exploding. ChatGPT, OpenAI, Google Bard, right? They all utilize massive amount of GPUs. And they're buying Nvidia chips like crazy, right? So that will carry into crypto, right? We're starting to see some AI project come out in the crypto space that looks very promising. But right now, the backbone, the hardware to support all of that, running on Nvidia chips. So that's what's happening right now. But what else is going on today? Well, like I said, there's a lot of trouble. Okay, those of you guys in Europe, you're not going to like this. Germany officially enters into a recession. Okay, U.S. has been in a recession already, but Powell and his buddies refuse to acknowledge it, saying that, yeah, we may go into recession, but we're not in recession. No, our GDP's been falling for quite some time, for over a year now, and Germany's GDP just went into the negative. So that's horrible. Went from 0 to negative 0.3%. So you never want to really see negative GDP, right? But of course, Germany was very dependent on Russian gas, and they had to figure out a way to survive without Russia. So that probably made things worse for them, right? But they're a huge economy, and if Germany is entering recession, does that mean others will follow? Right? The UK had some inflation numbers recently, but how's the UK doing? How's everyone else doing in Europe? I don't know. But recession is definitely not good, right? But every country out there is still trying to battle inflation, right? Trying to bring inflation down by raising more rates. And when you have these rates going up and these rate hikes, well, that makes people poor. That makes businesses poor, right? And that's why you have recessions. So if you're in a country that's in deep recession and you still have elevated levels of inflation, well, then you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. And I don't know what the central bank's going to do to offset it other than to just print more money, right? And that's hopefully not the case because it's just an endless circular death spiral, right? And we don't want to see that. We don't want to see that. And of course, in the U.S., it's no better. We still have this debt ceiling crisis, again, because of the same reason. Because we need to print more money, right? And that's why someone like Robert Kiyosaki keeps saying that the U.S. is just broke. Politicians debating raising 30 trillion U.S. debt limit. Bad comedy. Facts are U.S. bankrupt. Unfunded liabilities, such as Social Security, are over 250 trillion. Financial market derivative assets measured in quadrillions, thousands of trillions. WTF, buy gold, silver, and Bitcoin. Well, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. Those numbers are crazy, right? But the U.S. has been bankrupt for a long time, if you think about it. That's why we have $31 trillion worth of debt. We have $31 trillion worth of debt. There's no savings. It's not like we have more savings than debt. No, we have no savings at all right? So if you're talking to like a normal person that says, yeah, I have $100,000 worth of debt and I have no savings, well, that person is basically considered bankrupt, right? Well, not really. There's still income coming, right? But if the income stops, then they would be, right? That's the situation the U.S. is in. Yes, there's still income coming in from taxes, right, and other sources, but if that ever stops, the country is bankrupt because we basically have no savings and we have to keep borrowing money and printing more money to sustain ourselves, right? That's a horrible thing. That's why, again, we have Bitcoin. That's why we have Bitcoin, right? So, yeah. That's why we have Bitcoin. As for other country news, besides Germany and U.S. being very, very bearish right now, we have other countries that are not so bearish. Dubai is about to launch their Bitcoin tower. There's just crazy things happening in Dubai right now. So I'm wondering how glamorous this Bitcoin tower is. A lot of Bitcoiners moved to Dubai because there's no income tax. They're very pro-crypto. But I'm wondering what marvelous building will go up, the Bitcoin tower, right? And they're not the only country. Of course, El Salvador is building their Bitcoin city, and they're opening up the volcanic mining, right, for Bitcoin. I mean, a lot of countries are very pro Bitcoin, very pro innovation, unlike this country because of Gary Gensler. Now, there's also some controversy too. That video that was swirled around, right, from CCTV about Hong Kong retail investors being able to buy crypto. Well, that was removed, supposedly, people are guessing, because CZ called it a big deal and it blew up on Twitter. That could be one reason. Or within there, they also talked about a Solana-based meme coin that turned out to be a pump and dump scheme. I think it's the latter. They probably realized there's so much attention and they didn't want to feature this whatever Solana-based meme coin. I don't know which one it is, but nevertheless, this is happening. Okay, this is real. This is not false news. In fact, OKX already opened up Cardano trading and several other trading, right? Several other coins for Hong Kong individuals. So obviously, this is fact. Okay, this is still coming June 1st. You're going to have like 8 million people that will be allowed to buy crypto in Hong Kong. And plus institutions will be able to buy too. So it's still absolutely big. So again, you have trouble in some areas, but you have other areas, other countries that's fully embracing, right? This is the start of something huge. Absolutely huge. And Cardano and Avalanche and Polygon and, of course, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they may get a huge cash injection come June 1st. That's what we want to see. All right. What else is there? Well, there's a couple of levels for Bitcoin, right? What are those levels? Well, let's take a look. Yesterday when I was having my Twitter Spaces, a couple TA guys chimed in and said, well, Bitcoin's gonna fall to 25 or go fall to whatever, right? Like, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But right now, Bitcoin is pressed right against two levels, right around 26.2, and that's the 111 DMA and 200 DMA. Interesting. But if we fall, then there's a couple other levels right around 22, the 365 DMA and 200 DMA, right? So there's a lot of levels. These are all based on moving averages of what has happened before. Does it mean it has to happen? No. But you know what? Sometimes they do, because there's a lot of programmed bots or programmed patterns that people recognize. So they tend to trade according to what has happened before or what's recognized or what the signal means and all this stuff, right? It's kind of human nature, but with a lot of macro stuff happening with Hong Kong possibly opening up, no, not possibly, opening up, right? you know, cash injections, they throw all this out the window. Okay, the lines could say whatever they want, but whatever Bitcoin does, it does, right? So that's how I see it. But if you verse what we're going through right now versus a previous cycle, a bottom, right? You could see looks pretty similar, right? Looks pretty similar. And then, of course, you know, this is where we are versus the previous cycles, right? When you zoom in, you'll see a lot of this kind of stuff, right? You'll see a lot of up and downs, right? But when you zoom out, you realize, okay, you just got you sometimes just got to chill, right? And take a step back and realize that no matter how bad it seems we are right now, it's way better than the previous cycles before, okay? 15,000 was scary, was bad, but it's still 5 times higher than the 3,000 bottom of 2018. 5 times higher, right? So keep that in mind. And also, 15,000 was scary, but nothing versus the $150 Bitcoin fell down to in 2014, right? So regardless, when you step back, zoom out, you realize, okay, this is what Bitcoin does. It goes up and down, may be manipulated. There's a lot of whale activity. Maybe some of the institutions are getting in and out, right? But the holders keep on increasing. More and more people DCA and HODL, right? And overall, Bitcoin just continues forward, ignoring everything else. And this is where we are right now versus the previous times, right? So looking pretty darn good. What else is going on in the world of crypto? Polygon, some Polygon news. Polygon is huge in NFTs right now, absolutely huge in NFTs. And they say Reddit is the only big tech firm that really cracked the NFT code in terms of onboarding users, right? I don't know. I think Starbucks did too, but probably not in the same scale. There's a lot of brands that's releasing NFTs, but it's hard to get people to pay attention to NFTs, to be honest, right? Because people just don't understand it. They think it's just a picture, right? They don't really know that there's more to it, or there could be more to an NFT, right? But Reddit, you know, the Reddit community is different than, say, Starbucks community or Coke's community. It's a little bit different, right? But Polygon says they cracked the code. But here's the thing. You know, Reddit's avatars, NFTs, are on top of Polygon. There's a lot of stuff happening on top of Polygon that people don't know, right? And here's a guy, Zerk.eth, that he's like, hey, look at Ethereum. Ethereum's NFT sales are cooling off, picking up a little bit in May, but Polygon's market cap for NFT just keeps on going up. Total NFT wallets, over 10 million. Market cap, over 66 million, and continues to grow. Right? Polygon has a lot of stuff happening. So I know that they've been recently pretty weak, you know, and it's surprising me too, right? In terms of their price action, they've been pretty weak, but still, I don't think we should ignore Polygon because there's just so much stuff happening within. Also, BNB Chain. BNB Chain, not a whole lot of people talk about it, but there's a lot of activities. There's a lot of meme coins on there. There's a lot of dApps that's on BNB, right? But they're about to upgrade in June. That'll just make them faster and more secure, which is good. So it's always good to hear about chains improving themselves in a positive way, right? And then lastly, I saw this. Fahrenheit acquired. They won. So they will be acquiring Celsius. And who is Fahrenheit? Well, they're a new consortium of buyers made up of Arrington Capital and U.S. Bitcoin Corp. And they're going to take over the assets. I don't know how much they're going to give back to the people, but yeah, and this is also assuming that the SEC is not going to throw a wrench in this and try to block the acquisition like they did with Voyager and Binance. Binance.US tried to buy Voyager for many months. SEC kept protesting until Binance said, oh, screw it. It's not worth our effort. So hopefully this is not the case. If SEC has anything to do with it, they may delay this or permanently stop this from happening. All right. That's a wrap. Let's do some Q&A. Nvidia. Nvidia is like the only good thing today. Closing in at $1 trillion because of AI. AI, you just can't ignore AI. AI is taking over. We hit that, I don't know what you call it, but like that we broke that threshold, right? AI innovation was kind of flat. We broke that threshold, and now it's just like going crazy. Nvidia's helping power that. Funny how Fahrenheit buys Celsius, even though we know Celsius is a much better unit for temperature. I disagree with that. I hate converting Fahrenheit to Celsius. All right, let's see. Let's see if I Bitcoin is flat, a little bit higher today. I hope RedX asked or said, I hope Avalanche is not dead. No, I just talked about Ava Cloud yesterday. Last night, there's some big stuff happening. George, we know all about crypto scams. How can a CBDC be built safe? Well, I would think the two are very different. Crypto scams are not stable coins. Well, maybe UST was, but it wasn't meant to be a scam. CBDCs are from central banks. They have their own problems, but I don't think they're going to scam. They're going to do a rug pull, right? But they will inherently inflate it forever. And if you think about that, it's sort of scamming people out of their buying power, which is just like fiat. What's MDT? Measurable data token. Never heard of them. Let's see. Measurable data. Control and monetize your data. So it's a data marketplace. Reward me is a new... Okay. When I see that, I'm going to click out right now. There's too many in that space. Thoughts on Cardano? Kind of boring. But they are one of the crypto that Hong Kong citizens will be able to buy soon. Their TVL is going up, so that's good to see. MinSwap is getting a lot of volume. They also have their own meme coin. So, I mean, there's still stuff happening, right? It's just kind of boring right now. But boring could be good. I mean, boring could be good. I mean, here's an example why boring's good. It doesn't go up and doesn't go down too much. So over the 90 days, it's only gone down 6%, right? And versus Dogecoin of 16% versus Maddox of 33% and versus Solana's 18% and Polkadot's 24%, you know, that's where boring is good, right? And they're still sitting at number 7. So sometimes boring is a blessing in disguise. I have not played any ball recently. I have not hit the gym. I've been so busy. I'm just talking to people. After my stream, I usually have like 3 or 4 people I'm talking to or projects. It's been busy. Just got a call from a guy named Gary asking for one ticket to the Ark. He's the one guy you don't want to let on the Ark. What platform do you use for Wednesday DCA? This CoinStats. It's just something that I picked up before. You could use it for anything. Any portfolio manager, anyone. I mean, you could do it anywhere, right? I'm just showing it as a sample, but obviously you could do it on any app. What about Litecoin? What about it? What about it? If you want to store value, you go with Bitcoin, right? Why would you want anything else? That's my best response to that. Oh, the U.S. market getting weak. Even Nvidia can't stop it. I mean, honestly, everyone is just so worried. Wall Street is so worried about the debt ceiling, right? And people are asking, why is the DXY going up? DXY goes up when other countries start struggling, right? For example, like yesterday, I'm like, I don't know why DXY is going up. Well, today it's pretty obvious. Because Germany is entering recession and people are afraid of Germany and other countries in Europe. So when that happens, guess what? The dollar gets stronger, which is why the DXY goes up. And when the DXY goes up, it sucks up liquidity from other asset classes like Bitcoin, unfortunately. So that's why we want to see DXY go down, not up. But whenever, I think just like a... I mean, you may be wondering, well, why does everyone flock to the dollar, right? Like, I think it's just a habit. All these other countries, they're like, okay, we don't know what to do. Because traditionally speaking, you always flock to the dollar because it's stronger, right? But I think now it's like, yeah, all these other countries, when there's fear, people are just like, yeah, let's just load up on a dollar. What they should be doing is loading up on Bitcoin, but they're loading up on a dollar, which is not good. Do I like the new Z06? Yes, but I've been hearing about how the engine just explodes for no reason. So I don't know about that. I don't want a car where the engine just explodes. It was Watcher Guru stating that 2 quarters of negative GB is same as US. Yeah, because that's the official definition. That's the official definition of recession, right? And it's worse for Germany because they went to negative 0.3%. And the US at least is not negative, so there's still some growth, right? But no country ever wants to declare themselves in a recession. The US still says we're not in recession even though we are. Right? No one ever wants to admit it. No country will actually officially come out and say, well, we're in deep recession and we're effed, right? Like, they're not going to say it. But you just have to do your own research. The money printer is about to go brr if the debt ceiling gets lifted. I mean, that's the problem right now. They want it to be lifted so that they can print more money, right? I don't know about other countries. It seems like UK doesn't have a debt ceiling. I don't know about Germany. I don't know about other countries. It seems very irresponsible not to have a debt ceiling, right? To try to at least give yourself some kind of ceiling to stop yourself from spending too much. All my neighbors buying BMWs and Mercedes. Why? Because they're not broke. I don't know. What do you want me to say? I know that the Mercedes dealership that I bought my Mercedes from, they're a lot more desperate these days. Like 2 years ago, 2021, very cocky. Very, very cocky. Selling G-Wagons for 100K over, loading up on everything, selling everything above MSRP. Last time I talked to the rep, my salesperson, he's like, yeah, we got all these AMGs and we could sell them at MSRP. Do you know anyone that wants them? Like, no. Who wants to buy those 100K cars right now? Right? Like, the landscape has changed a lot. Print more money equals higher interest rates from Powell. Yeah, that's you know, it's an endless cycle. It's an endless cycle of printing and then higher inflation and then more rate hikes or prolonged rate hikes. I mean, that's just how it works. Do they accept Bitcoin and Mercedes? So far, no. I've gone nowhere. I have asked. I've been in an Aston Martin dealership. This was years ago, though. I asked them about accepting Bitcoin. They said no. Everyone says, yeah, we're thinking about it, but none of them actually say, oh, yeah, we do take it. Thoughts on DeSantis saying he's pro-Bitcoin on Twitter Spaces yesterday? He was going after regular in a big way. I certainly hope that's true. And he also said that there will be no CBDCs coming out of America if he becomes president, right? That was one of his things. I hope it's true. A lot of people say bullish stuff about crypto before they get elected, and then things change, right? Case in point, Gary Gensler. Teaching classes at MIT, saying good things about Bitcoin and crypto everywhere, right? Like he said good things about Algorand. He said good things about Ethereum, saying they're not securities and you could build future dApps on them. And guess what? He slaps Algorand as with a lawsuit as a as a security and trying to say Ethereum is security, right? Like people say one thing, but do they really believe in it? I don't know. Hopefully, if DeSantis does become president, which I think there's a very little chance of, but if he does, maybe he's true to his word. There was no FOMC meeting yesterday, Fino. There was the minutes. The Fed minutes was released, and I did talk about it. Basically, they said that they're really considering not doing any more rate hikes, right? But still, the percentage is high. The percentage is very high. Higher than I like to see. 40 freaking percent for another 25 basis point hike in June. At this rate, any crypto will be more valuable. I mean, this is the thing. Like, this is why I don't get panicked. I've talked to a lot of people before, and recently down in Miami, people are like, "Why are you so bullish?" They think this is false. Like I'm just putting on a show. I'm like, no. If you truly understand Bitcoin, right, and you truly understand everything I'm saying about money and how irresponsible governments are, there's no way you cannot be bullish on Bitcoin, right? Short-term volatility sucks, but it's nothing like the cycles we have lived through before. It's so much better now than before. People don't know that. If you lived through some of these previous cycles, you'll know, like me, like this is nothing. This is absolutely nothing. Volatility is way better now than before, when we would wake up and we see Bitcoin down 20% in a day, and it happened all the time, right? That have gone away. Now we see like 2 percentage point drop a day, right? So it's so much more better now than before, right? So if you've lived through those, and even if you haven't, right, know that this is cakewalk, right? This is nothing compared to before. But if you understand what Bitcoin's about, basically the best asset, the best store of value, the best network, the best medium of exchange. If you understand those things, then you cannot not be bullish on Bitcoin. You just got to focus on long term. Ace, don't ask me about PSYOP because I think that's total garbage. As for Bencoin, let's see what BitBoy does. If he could turn it into a legitimate coin, like he comes out with like a plan, a solid plan on what he plans on doing with it, and not just, you know, not just a meme coin, and he could get the community around it, right? It could be great. But right now I just don't know enough. I don't know enough, but it seems to be the only thing like doing well right now in this market. Everything else is flat. But I'm looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to this coming out June 1st. I don't think we could understate how much money could be coming in. Maybe there's off chance that nothing happens, right? No one's interested in buying. But still, the fact that they are able to, that means as the entire market comes up and there's a bull run, that's just that many more people with that much more money that will be FOMOing in along with everyone else in the world, right? So even if nothing happens, so what? This is a fantastic thing. It's just another avenue, another funnel of money that can be flowing in the future. .808 blockchain, yeah. So you know what it's like. I got it in 2013, very end of 2013, right? So I saw Bitcoin rise up for the first time to 1,000, and then go all the way down. And I didn't quite understand it, but that was a brutal drop, right? I saw the same thing in 2018, saw it go all the way down, saw it again in 2020, right? Been through these a couple times. This is nothing. Bitcoin at 27. Here's the funny thing. If we go back to January, the beginning of January, when Bitcoin was at 15, 16K, like, if you remember those times versus now, like, how can you be panicking, right? We're basically double from that point. I even stated at that point, if Bitcoin ends at 30,000 by the end of the year, 30, 35,000, I'd be very happy. That would be great start as we get closer to the halving event and then move forward, right? We already overachieved that, and now we're coming back down a little bit, but still, we're further in the game than originally anticipated. And again, most of you guys lived through at least 2022 or halfway through 2022, so you realize the volatility back in 2022 way worse. And then all the collapses, black swans already happened, right? There's no more big Celsiuses that, or Voyagers or whatever. That's 3 arrows and Luna collapses. They're all done for, right? So now we don't have any major catastrophes around the corner either. So, hey Jason, Crypto Crow, sell may go away, come back in June for another day. Jason, why don't you tell everyone how bullish you are at Cardano? I've been talking to Jason recently, and he's so bullish on Cardano and building on top of Cardano, putting his money where his mouth is. So that's fantastic. One of the strongest ADA bulls I know. Crypto needs a spark now, otherwise see a 20K. I don't know. I don't know if that's exactly true or not. There's no one selling right now, right? Unless there's some kind of big disaster, some big macro stuff that's, I don't know. Oh, okay, I'll give you that. If the U.S. defaults, and we do not raise the debt ceiling, something like that could happen. Okay, I'll give you that. Because then that means we're going to go in a death spiral, and not even Bitcoin can withstand that short term. Long term, it'll help, but short term, if the U.S. defaults and markets start crashing like 3,000 points a day, every day, because now U.S. can no longer pay its debts, can't pay back its loans, can't pay themselves, can't pay Medicare providers, can't pay Social Security, can't pay the military, well, you're going to have problems. You got big problems. Financial Armageddon, right? I don't think it's going to happen. I think at the last minute they'll go raise the debt ceiling and start printing more money. But if there's a slight off chance somehow the debt ceiling is not raised, get ready for Armageddon. I have a Hulk and then that Daytona two-tone. That's it. I haven't bought anything else. I've been holding off. But when waiting, just like cars, watches, they were just like way too high. I think they're still too high. You still can't get them at MSRP. I don't know if that ever change, because it seems like Rolex is just like playing games and they don't want to sell anything at MSRP. So hopefully we can actually find some watches at MSRP in the future. Will Litecoin reach 500 in 2023? No. No? What makes you think he'll hit 500 in 2023? Will it be like the Great Depression? Ron, it may be worse than a Great Depression. I mean, think about it. At least the U.S. in its history have gone through many recessions, right? Great Depression probably the worst, but it's gone through many recessions. The U.S. has never defaulted before, ever in history. So think about how bad that would be. In all the scenarios that we ever had, we never defaulted, ever. And if we default for the first time, it could be worse than a Great Depression. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to know that, but it just sounds really bad. I mean, if you can't pay your debts, that's bad, right? Like in real life, if you can't pay your debts, what happens? You get kicked out of your home, your car gets repoed, right? And you get kicked onto the streets. So, I mean, as a country, is that what's going to happen? If you can't pay back your debts, what's going to happen? Christopher says, if U.S. defaults BTC to sub 10,000 Black Swan, I'm not going to say that won't happen, but it could, because it depends on how bad the situation is. I mean, seriously, like in 2008 when all the banks were going under, and even during the COVID crash of 2020, I remember days where Dow closed at minus 3,000, right? And in 2008, it was worse because every single day it would be like minus 600, minus 800, minus 1,000, minus 600. Like literally we had 6 months of down every single day, right? In March of 2020, when we had the COVID crash, we had that maybe for like a week or two, and then we kind of just like blew past it, recover from it. If the U.S. defaults, I would not be surprised Dow goes down like 5,000 in a day, and every single day afterwards, minus 1,000, minus 1,000, minus 1,000, minus 1,000. Like, that would not be surprising, considering what we saw in 2008. I don't look forward to it. There might be a lot of people say, yeah, just let the government default and let the U.S. economy crash. No, you don't want that. No one wants that. That's horrible. That's like blowing things up. You don't want that. All right. Well, let's call it a day. Enough gloom and doom. But that's what it is. I mean, today the only company that's doing well is Nvidia. So they're about to break 1 trillion, but everyone else is not doing so good. The entire market not doing that well. You know, Germany officially enters into recession, not declared by Germany, but because 2 bad GDP quarters, U.S. is in recession, everyone's in recession. DXY is going up, which is not good overall. We got the debt ceiling going on. You know, we got a lot of scary stuff, but you know what? Bitcoin's not scary. All right. Of all the things that are scary, Bitcoin's not scary. So stay strong, stay with Bitcoin, stay focused, and I'll see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good one, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.